Hello. I am here on campus today, but I have some things to do. So, for those of you who are at home, which should be Viviana, Ariana, and Adeli, this is going to help you hear what the questions are. We'll talk a little bit about going back to the text. So, number one says, what clues tell you that feathers is an informational text? Well, the key part is information. We have the word information within there. So, what is it giving you? It's giving you information about what? About feathers. But it's more what you're trying to explain is what are the clues? How do you know that this is an informational text? So, when we look at it, and this is within Friday's folder. So, when you go to Friday's folder, this is where the assignment is. This is where the text is, okay? Open this up because you're going to need it. Definitely on the last one. So what clues are there that this is informational? On this one, I see a photorealistic image of this feather. Even the subtitles on these pages, this one says feathers can shade out sun like an umbrella or protect skin like sunscreen. Again, feathers can soak up water like a sponge or clean up messes like a scrub brush. So it's giving you hints as to what functions these feathers have. And they compare them to things that you know, like a sponge. You have experience with a sponge. Scrub brush, we know what a brush is like. And then they even give you those comparisons here and here. So how do we know it's informational? You're going to write one or two sentences to describe how you know that this is an informational text right here. On number two, you're going to identify the author's purpose, which your choices are to persuade, to inform, or to entertain. Pie, P-I-E. Really, it should be lowercase. To persuade is to convince somebody of something. To inform is to give information. And to entertain is to entertain, like a funny story or like a fairy tale. So you're going to choose which one, and then it says, how do the illustrations support this purpose? Which is kind of like I just said. All these illustrations, even though they are drawings and illustrations, they are drawn to look real and realistic. We know what these feathers really look like in real life because they are drawn so accurately. Let's say and support this. So yeah, how does that support which which purpose? Well, we know it's going to be to inform because we already said on number one that it's informational. So we know it's going to be to inform, right? Number three, I'm going to move my little thing. Why does Melissa Stewart compare feathers to everyday objects? So again, Notice these feathers are right next to this image of a forklift because she's saying that they carry materials like forklifts. What was the other one I just saw? From the beginning ones. Oh, the sponge. We have a picture of a sponge because we're saying that these feathers soak up water like a sponge or scrub like a brush. So you're going to put that into a sentence. And you want to give text evidence. Give evidence specific like we just did. What things are mentioned, what's compared, what feathers to what objects. Number 4, this is going to be one of like your just opinion. You're just going to tell her what was the most surprising thing feathers do. What was the one you were like, what? I didn't know feathers could do that. And then just kind of give her a little explanation of what it does. And then 5, you're really going to need to open the text because my best advice is to go look for the vocabulary words in there. So you're going to look to match these vocabulary words: brittle, bristle, contour, system, and prey. Since they are all vocabulary words from the text, they are going to be, I'll just stay here, they're going to be on the side in bold. You can see, if I can zoom in, you can see right here on the side, brittle is bold. It gives you the definition, very easily broken. And I'm looking, this sentence right here. Its feathers have brittle tips that crumble into a dusty powder. So, let's see. A red-tailed hawk's feathers protect skin while it soars through the sky in search of brittle. Well, no, because brittle is an adjective, not a noun. That doesn't work. Stiff and short, brittle feathers protect a bird's eyes or can be used to find food. It's an adjective, but I don't see how something that's breakable is going to help protect, so that doesn't work. An American bittern has brittle tips on its feathers to create a powder to clean its feathers. Well, you know what? That sounds very familiar. Powder. What did it say again? An American bittern always cleans up after it eats. Its feathers have brittle tips that crumble into a dusty powder. That's a match, right? Same kind of bird, same description of how they use their feathers. So, brittle, make sure you're not picking bristle. Brittle tips. And you're going to do the same thing for each of these words. Okay, again, you're going to scroll until you see one of those vocabulary words on the side. I'm not seeing one. I'm not seeing one. I'm not seeing one. Right here, I found 2. I see system. Oh, 3. System, bristle, and contour are both on these pages. So, system, set of connected things. I'm looking over here to see where it is, right here. Many scientists study birds and they are learning new information every day. Right now, all scientists agree about the best way to classify types of feathers. Here is one system that many scientists use. So again, you read the definition, you read that paragraph, and see which one makes sense. I'm going to go ahead and read through these. A red-tailed hawk's feathers protect skin while it soars the sky in search of blank. Stiff and short blank feathers protect a bird's eyes or can be used to find food. Scientists use a blank to classify or group types of feathers. Sounds familiar? Blank feathers cover the outside of a bird's body and give it shape and color. Once you do that, you will submit. You'll be good to go.